Check.
Yeah, hold on. I want to make sure I'm recording. I need to make sure
We'll begin shortly. For males and females only.
I just want to. Hello. Hi. When they come to give their talk about themselves, they come in here.
Right, yeah.
And then the questions, then we could do like
At the end.
at the end.
At the end.
Okay.
Yeah. After everything. So just let me know when you're ready. Ready? President Sandra Major, fellow executives, members of BECAW family and friends, good evening. Welcome to BECAW's Meet the Candidates Night, where the members of BECAW get an opportunity to hear the platform of the candidates, to ask questions, and to help them to decide which leaders are going to take them forward. We're going to ask Ms. Antonia Scott to come and lead us with an opening prayer.
evening, everyone. Could you please stand for prayer? Let's bow our heads in prayer. Kind, loving Heavenly Father, we do pause to give you thanks and praise for all that you have done for us during the course of this day. Thank you, Lord, that you have brought us to this place safely. And now, God, as we have come here to meet the candidates, we just want to say thank you so much for raising up BECAW when you did. Thank you for Miss Major and her team that have served for 6 years and for all the successes that they have achieved. Now, God, we are at the door again for a new team. God, you who see and know all things, so that this noble union would continue to grow from strength to strength. You see and you know all things, and so God, you would be the one who would choose the next team to lead this BECAW. Let everything be, God, according to your will. And as the various speakers speak tonight, I pray, dear God, that you would help us to hear what they're saying and help us then to be able to choose wisely. Father, we just praise you even before this meeting come to an end for what you have already done. We say thank you, dear God, for those who are on their way. We ask that you grant them a safe journey to this place. Thank you so much, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much for that wonderful prayer and taking us to the throne of grace. You may be seated. Well, remain standing for the national anthem. We will sing it as a body. Can someone who could sing raise it? You may be seated. It's evident that you've attended a lot of assemblies. So, here's basically what the rules and the format is for this evening. Each candidate will speak between 2 to 5 minutes. You will present who you are and your platform. The audience, online and in person, will reserve their questions until all speakers have spoken. So we write down if you have something to add, so that when everybody has made their contribution, then the floor will be open for questions. At that time, all of the candidates will be asked to come to the front. The questions could come in the platform, online, from the audience, or you could send them to my cell, 727-2694, and I will relay the questions to whomever you wish to ask them to. Candidates can ask each other questions, but it's hoped that the quorum will be shown and you will give them an opportunity to answer without interrupting. We're going to start off first with the individuals who are unopposed, and so welcome to the stage. At the end, yeah. Right, so just again, the candidates will come and make their contributions. Once everybody has spoken, the candidates will sit at the front, and then the questions will be asked. Questions can be asked from the audience here, online, in the platform, or you could WhatsApp them to my cell, 727-2694. And so the candidates who do not have an opponent, we'll ask them to come first and just bring salutations. And we'll start off with President-elect, Madam Keisha LaRota.
President Major, fellow executives, candidates, members, all, a pleasant good evening. I am Keisha LaRota, your president-elect. I want to sincerely thank all of you for your support and advocacy for BECAW over the last 6 years. We began an incredible journey together, and this election season provides another step in this great journey. We were founded on the principle of doing the right thing the right way. And this forum allows candidates to interact with the membership and present their platform. BECAW, in a short time, has achieved big things. We have already signed our second industrial agreement, where I had the honor and privilege of being a co-lead negotiator and one of the signatories. In these agreements, we have provided salary and allowance increases and new benefits. One of them being an increase in the incremental amount. This new benefit, thought of as impossible a few months ago, BECAW made it possible. I, as your president, will build on what was already established. My pledge to you is to lead with integrity, combining strength with reason, passion with persistence, advocacy with transparency, so that a union of educators, by educators, for educators, can be a beacon of light, a city on the hill, so that all can look to BECAW to see how teacher trade unionism can really be done. I will end with my motto: members first, always. I will say it again: members first, always. A focus on members, fosters a sense of community, shared purpose, and solidarity. Sing along with me. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Long live BECAW. Long live BECAW. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President-elect Loroto, for those remarks. My challenge is for someone to tell me the words of the first voice. And next, we have Secretary General-elect Pamela Murphy to come and greet you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Bill Cosby said, anyone can dabble, but once you have made that commitment, your blood has that particular thing in it, and it's very hard to stop you once you have started. I am your committed, dedicated, reliable Secretary General-elect. For 6 years, I have been excited about serving you, the members of BECAW, and looks forward to the next 3 years. For indeed, motivation is what got me started, but commitment is what keeps me going. My journey into unionism began some 27 years ago. And 6 years ago, I answered the call for greater service in not only becoming a founding member of the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, but to serve you as your Secretary General. On this journey of service, I am so happy to announce that I have created meaningful relationships. I am peaceful, guided, and grounded in what I do. I am well connected. Therefore, I use my network and resources to get the job done. My watchwords are honesty and integrity. As your chief administrator of your union, I continue to organize and manage the business of this union by maintaining the proper record keeping while managing the Secretariat, which is the office of the Secretary General. I am the strategic leader whose goal is to strengthen our union, increase membership in order to motivate and create future leaders to continue this great legacy, modernize our records department, amplify teachers' voice by being a part of the negotiation for better working conditions for you, the teachers. I am grateful, thankful, and humble to once again have been chosen as your Secretary General. I am Pamela Murphy. Solidarity, fraternity, integrity, unity forever.
Thank you so much, Madam SG. And now, Treasurer-elect Burrows will come and bring salutations.
Good night, everyone. My name is Marilyn Burrows, and I am your treasurer for the past I was your treasurer for the past 6 years. And when I think about the past 6 years, What makes me smile quite a bit was the period between October 8th, 2020 to March 2021. During that period, I called the Ministry of Finance almost daily, sometimes 2 and 3 times a day, so that we can get our account number to begin getting members for BECAW. And in April 2021, we got our first check off with 24 members. And even better was in June of 2021, we had 319 members. I appreciate the opportunity you have in me for the past 6 years, and I will continue to serve you for another 3 years as your treasurer-elect. I would also like to thank all of the executives. We've had our challenges, we've had our good times, but especially I would like to thank my assistant. She was always there for me, dedicated, hardworking, and I appreciate you and thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to work for you, the members. I will continue to serve you with excellence. Marilyn is integrity. She believes in discipline, accountability, and transparency. I strongly believe in the principles of our union and will continue to serve any members who seek advice on savings, investments, and retirement. As the treasurer, one of our main goals are to give advice and manage the finances. You will not normally see us at the forefront. We're in the back there working and working really hard. The more members you get, the more work it is. But I enjoy what I do and I love what I do. So I will continue to give our members advice on savings, investments, and retirement. I want to thank you again and look forward for an excellent next 3 years. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Madam Treasurer. That brings the unopposed candidates to an end. And so we will start out with the executive members. And that would be Danny Kemp, Ms. Gator. I think those are the only two here today. Who else? Okay. Burrows, Wanderley Burrows, Alton Moss. Those are the candidates. So those who are here tonight, I see Ms. Kemp and Ms. Gator. Ms. Gator just stepped out. So Ms. Kemp, both Gator and Kemp? Both stepped out? Ah, okay, sorry. Okay, so we don't need a pause in the program, so we'll go to the trustees. Oh, Gator's coming now, okay. So please welcome Ms. Gator as she comes.
A very pleasant good evening, always trying to be off helping someone. A very pleasant good evening, Madam President, fellow executives, candidates and members of BECAW and all of the visiting friends. Tonight, as we gather for this Meet the Candidates event, we will hear about job descriptions tied to finances, negotiations, recruitment, organizing, communication, and strategy. There's one portfolio whose impact is often not measured by statistics, is measured by compassion, presence, humanity. That is that of an executive member, Juanita Gator. A huge part of my portfolio is remembering you, the worker who lost a parent, spouse, child, sibling, and any other loved ones, and still came to work and perform. The member battling silent emotional pain, the colleague trying to remain strong while their world seemed to be crumbling and falling apart. That is where this position of executive member matters to me. It is my responsibility to remind members that they are not alone, and always remember that. The executive that checks in after the funeral is over and the calls have stopped coming in. The portfolio that understands that mental and emotional well-being is connected to the workplace well-being. Because I understand the burdens our members carry, I can better advocate for the policies that truly protect them. The job that leads not only with policy, but with empathy. My commitment is simple. I am here to serve you, executives, whenever, wherever, you, the members of BECAW, I am here for you. Thank you, and have a blessed evening.
Thank you so much, Executive Member Gator. And now we'll go to the trustees. We have Anthony Ferguson here, Georgina Pitter, and Katrina, I get a blank. Katrina Stubbs, my good friend for about 20 years and neighbor, and my former shop steward. And so we're going to have the presentations made in alphabetical order. And someone who remember the alphabet go, who should come up first? Ferguson, last name Ferguson. So Mr. Ferguson, the floor is yours.
Thank you. A pleasant good evening to all of you. For the first time, as bold as I am, I'm having butterflies. But nevertheless, I am delighted to be here this evening. My name is Anthony Ferguson. I'm a teacher at Jack Hayward Junior High School. I teach social studies. And I am offering myself as a trustee in this great union. What I love about this union is that I've always felt welcome and always feel part of family. And so I said to my deaf community this evening that, you know, they were asking, how are you going to do you deaf? And I said, don't worry about that. Everybody in the union is going to see to it that I am fine. And everybody in this union is going to see to it that I am okay, so I'm not worried. And so my task is an easy task, as I want to build on one of the things that I've noticed in the AGM. The AGM is end so quickly because the union is running smooth and everything is going where it should go. So I'm not worried really coming with anything new. I just want to bring my integrity to the integrity that is there already. And so, yes, that's what the deaf community would do. They wave. And so I want to just let you all know that we being a trustee, you know, I have 4 eyes, 1, 2, 3, 4, to make sure that we guard the monies and make sure that we see that everything is in order and make sure that we do what we're supposed to do. And those of you that know me will know that I am very direct. What you see is what you get. black and white, no shade of gray, but I don't think I will have to do that because I will be surrounded by wonderful people who will make sure we have that wonderful communication. I am excited and I'm looking forward, so I'm hoping that you give me a chance to bring to the table what I'll have, and we will have an awesome time. Thank you so very much, and we're going to echo solidarity forever. There you go.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ferguson. The executive member candidate Kemp has returned, but I will let her speak after the trustees have completed their contributions. And so we have next up Georgina Pitter.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Georgina Pitter, and as I stand before you tonight as a candidate for trustee, I do so with a clear understanding of what this moment in our union's history represents. It's not just about impending elections, but it's a decision about the kind of leadership we want shaping our union's future. When I submitted my nomination form several months ago, I did so with a deep respect for the responsibility that this role carries. Not just respect for the title, but respect for what it represents: accountability, stewardship, and trust. And these principles are not new to me. They have defined my professional journey long before I stood here tonight. I have served as an educator for the past 26 years, and over that time, I have gained a deep understanding of the realities that we face both in and out of the classroom. I understand the weight of expectations placed on us, not only to teach, but to guide, to mentor, and to assume responsibilities that extend beyond the classroom when circumstances demand it, because I have lived it right alongside you. And that matters because representation is the strongest when it comes from lived experiences. But understanding the challenges we face is only part of the charge. It must be matched with a willingness to act, to advocate, and to stand in the gap when it matters most. And I have done that. For 9 years, I served as a shop steward and the BUT. In that role, I advocated for members, stood with colleagues during difficult times, and worked to ensure fairness and proper representation. That experience taught me something critical: that people don't just need a voice, they need someone willing to use theirs responsibly. As a founding member of BECAW, I have had the privilege of being here from its very beginning. So I have a deep appreciation for why this union exists, what it was built to stand for, and the responsibility we all share in protecting and strengthening it. Within BECAW, I also had the privilege of serving as our inaugural Ethics Committee chair. And that was not just a position. It was a duty to help lay the foundation for who we are as a union. We worked to establish standards of accountability, integrity, and ethical conduct, principles that are not optional, but essential, because the strength of any organization is not just in its numbers, but in its character. At present, I serve as an executive member, contributing to the ongoing work and direction of this youth organization. And from that vantage point, I have seen firsthand the importance of careful decision-making, open discussion, and collective responsibility. These experiences have shaped my understanding that the role of a trustee goes beyond safeguarding the union's finances. Yes, financial oversight is critical, but a trustee is also part of the leadership that helps to shape the direction of this union. A trustee sits at the executive table, participates in discussions about the way forward, and votes on decisions that impact the lives of members, both professionally and personally. And that is not a passive role. That is active leadership. If elected, I will approach this role with diligence, integrity, and a clear commitment to ensuring that every decision made reflects the best interests of our members. Not just some members, not just most members, but all members. Because fairness must be consistent and integrity must be unwavering. I wholeheartedly believe that trust is not built in moments. It's built over time through consistent, honest service. It is built when your actions align with your words, when your decisions reflect your principles, and when people can rely on you, not just when it's convenient, but at all times. That is the standard that I have upheld and that I will continue to uphold. And beyond all of that, this is about you, the members. It's about ensuring that your voices are represented at the executive level, that your concerns are considered, and that your trust is honored. On May 26, I encourage each of you to exercise your right to vote, not just as a formality, but as a statement of your belief in the future of this union. And I humbly ask for your support. Vote Georgina Pitter for trustee. Georgina Pitter. Service you know, integrity you can trust. Thank you.
And now we welcome Katrina Stubbs.
Accountability is our foundation. To give real service, you must add something which cannot be bought or measured with money, and that is sincerity and integrity. Those are the words of Donald A. Laird. Good evening, fellow executives, union members, and well-wishers. My name is Katrina Stubbs, and I am standing before you today as a candidate for trustee in BECAW's upcoming election. For 17 years, I've stood in the same classrooms as you, having faced the same challenges and celebrating the same victories. I know exactly what it takes to be a teacher in today's environment. But more than just being a teacher, I am a founding member of this union. I was there when we were just an idea, and I am here now, currently serving as one of your trustees because I believe in what we are building together. People sometimes ask why I helped to start a new union. The truth is, I made a difficult decision to leave an organization I had been a part of for a long time. I left because I saw a lack of accountability to the people who mattered most, you, the members. I took a chance on something new because I believe that a union should be a glass house, transparent, responsible, and above all, answerable to its members. As Thomas Paine once said, a body of men holding themselves accountable to nobody ought not to be trusted by anybody. I am here to make sure that that never happens to us. My commitment isn't to a title. It is to the integrity of our resources and the trust you place in this leadership. Here are 3 reasons why I ask for your support today. 1, proven stewardship. In my current term as trustee, I have treated every cent of your dues with the respect it deserves, ensuring that they are used only for our collective benefit. Secondly, unwavering commitment. With 17 years of experience, I don't just represent teachers, I am one. I understand the weight of your needs because I carry them too. Thirdly, a found vision. As a founding member, I will never let us forget why we started. I will be the watchdog that ensures we remain the transparent, member-focused alternative we promised to be. As I conclude, we didn't take a chance on this union just to repeat the mistakes of the past. We built this for a better future. My name is Katharina Stubbs, and I'm asking you for your vote to continue serving you as your trustee to keep our union strong, honest, and accountable. Thank you.
One thing I can say, whatever happened on election day, based on everybody that's spoken so far, BECAW will be in very good hands. Ms. Kemp, you can come now. This is our executive member candidate who had to make a quick dash, and she's now returned.
Good evening, esteemed colleagues, fellow educators, counselors, and union members. My name is Danique Kemp, and I stand before you this evening as a candidate for executive member in the 2026 union election. I am not just asking for your vote. I am asking for your trust, your confidence, and your partnership as we move the union forward together. The Constitution clearly states executive members shall manage the union's properties and perform duties assigned by the President and Executive Committee. This is not just a title, it is a responsibility. It requires accountability, integrity, commitment to service, and a deep understanding for the needs of our members. I am fully prepared to uphold these responsibilities with excellence. My vision is simple: together for fairness, respect, and results. Fairness in representation and decision-making, respect for every member, regardless of role or seniority, results that improve our working conditions and professional well-being. I bring both experience and passion to this role. Experienced leader, I have demonstrated leadership in educational settings and union-related responsibilities. A dedicated member, committed to growth, unity, and progress of our union. Advocate for change, I am not afraid to speak up, stand firm, and push for meaningful improvements. District member and shop steward, I understand firsthand the concerns of our members because I'm actively engaged. If elected, I ensure proper management and accountability for union resources and properties, support the President and Executive Committee in executing decisions effectively, advocate for members' rights, welfare, and professional development, strengthen communication between leadership and members, promote unity and transparency within the union. I am committed to being accessible, you will be heard, transparent, you will be informed, responsive, you will be represented, and dedicated, you will be prioritized. This role is about service, not status. This evening, I ask that you stand with me, stand for fairness, respect, and real results. Vote Danique Kemp for executive member. Together we can build a stronger, more effective union, one that works for all of us. Thank you for your time, your dedication, and the work you continue to do in education in the Bahamas. May we continue to lead, serve, and grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll now have the Assistant Secretary General candidates, and that's Rochelle Manchester and Martha Edgecombe. Alphabetically, I think E before M, if I can remember. And so welcome Martha Edgecombe.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That has been my prayer ever since I received that, in a card when I was in the 10th grade. I want to say good evening, Madam President, Major. Good evening, President-elect, Mrs. LaRota. Good evening to all of my founding colleagues, as well as all of my working colleagues. Good evening to each and every one of you. Please forgive me if I sound fatigued. I am. It's been a very long day at elections, but here goes. I have been a unionist for the past 17 years. I am also a founding member of our great union, BECAW. During the first term, I was elected as the first area vice president for Grand Bahama. During this time, I would have assisted with reclassifications, confirmations, but most importantly, well, not most importantly, but importantly, I would have agitated for the union's ID machine, where all of our members are actually benefiting from it today. With that, I would have created, designed, and printed, I want to say, the first 500 IDs, and those IDs goes a long way. Thank you. We receive benefits in certain places that we go, discounts on Kelly's and other places. And once we provide our teacher's ID, sometimes we're even able to skip certain lines and whatnot. So those IDs went a very long way. Additionally, during my tenure as AVP, I would have implemented a digital system where shop stewards, members alike, were able to digitally log their members' concerns. That's important to me personally because sometimes information can get lost in transition. Once you write it down, papers can be lost. Sometimes WhatsApp is lost. Emails are unchecked. And so once we had the digital system, it made life much easier for myself, the president, and everybody else who was involved in terms of assisting members with their concerns. Everything went direct. There were no issues. Additionally, with the digital system, I also implemented the Christmas voucher selection process digitally as well. That was another idea from me that assisted a lot of our members and our executives, where all of our information was sent all in one place. Now, of course, there's a lot of human errors here and there. It is not the go-to and the answer to everything, but we all can agree that it helps tremendously. Additionally, during my role as AVP, I would have organized, facilitated shop stewards training, as at one point I would have had as many as 20 to 30 shop stewards under my care as the area vice president. So I would have facilitated and organized training for our members to help for their betterment for themselves. Futuristically, there are some things that I would like to, if awarded the opportunity, that I would like to bring to our organization to assist with helping us in terms of information, clarity, whatever it is. We have what I would like to introduce monthly and or quarterly newsletters, keep our members abreast of information in advance, posts on Facebook, and not just a normal post, if it's a birthday, anniversary, wedding, whatever it is. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to implement during my time as area vice president was business listing for our members. We have a lot of members who own businesses on the side. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but I love to patronize my own. And so once that information is disseminated publicly, then, you know, we could help to build internally first, more than anything else. So these are just some of the things to make sure that our unit is more visible in social media, on our social media platforms, and assisting where I have always assisted anyway, which was creating plaques, flyers, certificates. I have technically been in the Assistant Secretary General's department from inception. And so I am only asking for an opportunity to continue to do the work that I've started, some of the things that I have done. And I also want to say that even though I was not successful in the last election, I have not turned my back on BECAW at all. I have still assisted over the last 3 years. I know. I have still assisted over the last 3 years, even though I was not successful at the polls, and my fellow chairman would have beat me at the polls, so she's going to help me to close out tonight. So, cheerleading Martha is on the floor. Give me an E. What you supposed to say, Ms. Turnquest Sweden? Thank you. She taught me how to do it. Let's go. Give me an E. Give me a D. Give me a G. Give me a E. Give me a Y. And what does that spell? Edgy. Take the edge off with edgy. Vote Edgecombe for Assistant Secretary General. Thank you.
Okay. And please, please welcome Rochelle Manchester.
Good evening, everyone. President Major, President-elect Mrs. LaRota, my fellow executives, members, well-wishers, I'd like to say good evening. My passion for fair, reliable, trustworthy, and respected leadership led me to join and work with like-minded, strong unionists to form this great union, Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. I am not just a founding member in name, but I was at the table from the very beginning. I remember being in Ms. Burroughs' house. We didn't have an office, and ordering the first set of stuff we ever got. So I'm not just that founding member in name, but also in work and duty. And that same passion for fair, reliable, trustworthy, and respected leadership, I carry that same passion into everything I do. It is that same passion that I take into my classroom and into my office as Assistant Secretary General. I've helped to plan and execute AGMs, and in my SG's absence, I have continued planning and executing our AGM and our first election successfully. In my passion for excellence through this great union, I have earned my certification in labor law, labor relations, and labor advocacy. Also, I have learned to use technology and AI, Firefly and Smart Notes, to make note-taking and minutes more accurate and less time-consuming. Mobi Office to organize memberships files and documents. So I am responsible for making sure that our membership information is kept up to date, and I've been doing so. I take meticulous minutes to the point where I was called on by those persons from government to find out what exactly was said, because they know I had it written down, because I'm going to do that, okay? I am a mother, I am a wife, I am an educator for over 28 years now, and a unionist for 20 years. I've been the Assistant Secretary General for the past 6 years, and I have served you with everything I have, making sure that our president looks good. So those flyers that you see that comes out during the Christmas and all the other holidays, those were prepared by myself. So I have been serving you well, and I ask that on May 26th, that you give me the opportunity to continue to serve you. Yes, there's a lot more that we can do, and trust me, it will be done. I'm going to make sure that you, the members, know that not only I'm working for you, but I'm working with you. I'm in the trenches with you, and I'm at the negotiating table. I've been at the negotiating table twice, and I haven't just been there sitting, but I've actually been active. Every meeting, haven't missed one. Online, by Zoom, however, making sure that everything that you asked for, you got. So I thank you for the privilege of serving you for the past 6 years, and I ask you to give me that opportunity once again to serve you. Thank you. Remember, Rochelle Manchester for Assistant Secretary General, May 26th. Please, I ask for your support. Vote for me.
Someone carry my thingy. The folder. And so as we move along, those who are running for Assistant Treasurer, that's Ms. Carter and Ms. Turnquest Sweeting. So Ms. Carter. Okay. Ms. Sweeting.
Hopefully I don't think it's stuck. Good evening. Saying protocol has already been established. I feel like Mr. Ferguson a little nervous. I'm really tired because I've been at advanced poll. But anyway, good evening, everyone. I am so glad to see so many of you are here. For those who do not know, my name is Marla Turnquest Sweeting, and I currently serve as your Assistant Treasurer of the Bahamas Educators Counselors Allied Workers Union. I was elected in the last term, and today I humbly ask for your support to re-elect me. I'm proud to say that I am one of the founding members of BECAW. From the very beginning, I believed in the vision of this union, and I continue to believe in what we are building together. With 31 years in education and a lifelong commitment to unionism, I have served as both assistant shop steward and shop steward for over 15 years. Those roles have shaped me into a leader who is hardworking, trustworthy, team-oriented, and driven by service. In a relatively short time, BECAW has accomplished what many thought would take years. We have become one of the fastest growing unions in the country, and more importantly, we continue to advocate and improve conditions for our members. Now let me talk about my department, the Treasurer's Department. This department may not always be in the spotlight, but it is the engine room of the union. The treasurer and I have a good, honest, trusting relationship, and as a result, we have worked seamlessly over the past 3 years, ensuring that your finances are handled with care, accuracy, and integrity. We ensure that bills are paid on time, savings and investments are secured, financial records are properly maintained. At our AGM, I proudly made a recommendation. At our first AGM, I proudly made the recommendation that we allocate 10% towards savings and investment, and I am pleased that we acted on it. Because of that decision, we have acquired property in Abaco, invested funds in key areas, built savings that are bringing us closer to owning our very own union building. That is not just progress, that is vision in action. On a monthly basis, my responsibilities as assistant treasurer includes managing bill payments and financial errands, preparing requisition forms, working with QuickBooks to maintain accurate accounts, preparing checkoff reports and executive meeting spreadsheets, attending office hours, and supporting union events. In simple terms, I do the work consistently, quietly, and effectively. This role may not be the most glamorous, and you may not always see us, but I assure you, we are always working behind the scenes to ensure that your union finances are sound, your contributions are protected, your future benefits are secure. We take that responsibility seriously, and we have delivered. We work for you to make things happen. So today, I ask you to continue this journey with me. Re-elect me, Marla Turnquist Sweeting, as your assistant treasurer. Thank you.
All right, so we have two positions left with candidates. And so at this time, we would have the vice presidential candidate speak. AVPs would be last. You, Grand Bahama. So trying to remember which one is first now. My head. Gibson. Give her a round of applause as she comes.
How many of you have ever needed someone to stand with you? I didn't ask that question by accident. There are moments in leadership that you don't forget. Good night, President, President-elect, BECAW members and candidates and well-wishers. I am Janisha Gibson, and I am running for Vice President. For the last several years, I've served in education, but my service has never stopped at the classroom door, because I learned early that leadership is not about where you stand, it's about who you stand with. And I want to share a moment with you. There was a time when a member reached out to me, not for policy, not for procedure, but because they felt alone. They were overwhelmed, uncertain, facing something that felt bigger than them. And in that moment, they didn't need a title. They needed someone to show up, someone to sit with them. So I went. I listened. I stood beside them. And I'll never forget what they said after. I just needed to know that I wasn't alone. That moment stayed with me, because that is what this union is really about. Not meetings, not positions, not speeches, people. And when members face challenges after that, I didn't hesitate. I stepped in at Jack Hayward Senior High, Freeport Primary, Walter Parker. Even when membership wasn't available, Gibson stood with those schools. Not for recognition, not for credit, but because I believe this: if you can stand for others, you must. So, I'm not standing here today to tell you what I hope to do. I'm standing here because I have already been doing it. Tonight, I would like to tell you what I bring to the table. A tenacious personality. I'm very energetic. I come with an MBA. I have a leadership training from the local to the international levels. And I bring experience from representing the Bahamas at the 2024 Ubuntu United Nations. And I'm bringing back that experience to serve you, the members of BECAW. But hear me clearly. Credentials don't build trust. Actions do. And I have acted. On April 7th, I would have released a 1-year action plan. In that plan, there is provisions for an annual professional development calendar, professional development growth series for teachers, a white paper for guidance counselors, a real talk safe space for teachers who need mental support, a sister circle support network for teachers who are feeling overwhelmed, a membership spotlight because we have teachers in BECAW that are doing great things that deserve to be recognized, a retiree engagement and legacy program. If elected as vice president for teachers, you will have consistent, meaningful professional development. For guidance counselors, you will have recognition and real advocacy. For retirees, you will not be forgotten. You will be engaged, respected, and valued. Because this union is not an organization. It is the people. And people deserve to be seen. They deserve to be heard. They deserve to be supported. So when that moment comes, and that moment will come, when a member is overwhelmed, when a decision needs to be made, when leadership is tested, the question is not who spoke the loudest. The question will be who stood when it mattered. And I've already answered that question. I stood then, I stand now, and when the moment comes again, I will stand. So remember this. When it matters most, Gibson shows up. On May 26th, vote Gibson for vice president. There will be a stronger voice, and I am the better choice. Good night.
And now, welcome Mrs. Vinola Sayers Nelson.
Leadership is an action. I trying to use my indoor voice and this ain't working. Okay, let's change that. Leadership is an action, not a position. Donald McGannon. I have been very active in my position as Vice President of BECAW. Good night, everyone. My name is Vinola Sayers Nelson, and I stand before you today, tonight, as not as a stranger, not as a newcomer, but as one of your own, a veteran teacher, a veteran unionist, and a servant leader. I'm a founding member of BECAW, someone who was there when this union took its first breath, and who has never stopped believing in what we can achieve together if we do the right thing the right way. Tonight, I humbly but confidently ask for your vote to continue serving as your vice president because the work is not finished. Just recently, I was among the excellent educators recognized for excellence here in Grand Bahama for the role I play in the classroom, shaping the future of this nation. For the past 2 terms, I have stood in conference rooms, bargaining tables, at bargaining tables, and on international stages, fighting your battles, fighting for you. I know what it means to show up. I know what it means to speak up. And I will never stop standing up for your rights, your dignity, and your well-being. I represent proven leadership with real results. I do not offer empty promises. I offer a proven track record. I actively participated on both negotiating teams, and together we secured increased pay, improved benefits, and better working conditions for you, our members. I currently serve as liaison for the guidance counselors. In this role, I advocated for reclassification that our guidance counselors today benefit from. Because we had a 2016 scale, but they had not reclassified them for the longest. As a result of my agitation, they now benefit from it. I fought for timely teacher advancement and meaningful professional development. And when I say teacher advancement, we've had the career path. And for the whole entire time in the background, I agitated to make certain that the process was done properly, where teachers would be identified and recognized in a timely fashion. We have teachers now who can now benefit and say that they benefited from the career path. That is what I do in the background. And I did not forget those who came before us. I advocate for retirees, continuously pushing for insurance coverage and benefits in every room and at every table where the opportunity presents itself, because service should never end in a struggle. I provide you, my fellow BECAW members, with representation that reaches beyond these borders. I ensured BECAW had a strong national, regional, and international presence. I launched the Status of Women Committee after representing BECAW at a CUT biennial in Jamaica. We are now active in Grand Bahama, New Providence, and the Southern Bahamas. In August of 2025, at the CUT biennial in St. Martin, I was elected to the Caribbean Union of Teachers Status of Women Executive, one of only 7 members to hold this position. In March of 2026, I represented BECAW, CUT, and EI at the United Nations as one of only 20 global delegates selected to do this in New York. This is not just attendance. This is impactful representation. Wherever I go, I carry BECAW with me, with pride, and I make sure our voices are heard. I strongly believe in empowering members because it strengthens the union. I believe that knowledge is power, which is why I organize and facilitate professional development sessions with certification and credited hours, driven by our peers. And when I can't find them, I find experts in those fields so that our membership gets that exposure so that we can build and grow together. Because when our members grow, our union grows, and our country grows. I have been a consistent communicator, ensuring members are informed, engaged, and never left in the dark as a major contributor to the BECAW Facebook page. I make certain you know what your union is doing. I am a team player, a skills negotiator, and a result-driven leader, committed to fairness, clear-headed, experienced representation, and opportunities for all. I have provided tested leadership in critical times, so fellow members, you have a choice. You can choose someone who is still learning or someone who has helped to build the foundations. You can choose potential or you can choose proven performance. When challenges come, and they did, I did not remain silent. I stood firm. I spoke boldly. I represented you at every level, including where your voices needed to be heard. In practice, because leadership is not a position, it is a practice. So guess what? When you go to the polls on the 26th, vote for Nola Says Nelson as your vice president. I am a proven leader. Together we rise. Together we can deliver. And together we can win. Thank you.
Okay, I guess at this point, it's not needed. So we have. All right. And so our final two speakers this afternoon, and we go in alphabetical order. Let's welcome Michelle Outen, followed by Quintira Turnquest.
Good night, all. To President Major, President-elect LaRota, the candidates that went in unopposed, to the candidates, to our members, visitors, well-wishers, I say good evening. Brothers and sisters of BECAW, unions exist for one reason, and that is to make sure that no member, no worker stands alone while being victimized and their rights being violated. When management forgets that the success of our students is built on our labor, the union remembers. When rights are ignored, the union speaks. When safety is compromised, the union acts. That is why BECAW was born, and that is why I am asking for your continued support and your vote as I seek to serve for another 3 years as Area Vice President of Grand Bahama. I have been a union leader for 20 years. I'm a founding member of BECAW, and when we launched, I recruited nearly 100 members because I believe in what we can build together. My tenacity and hard work earned me the role as one of the organizers for BECAW. And to date, I have personally signed up nearly 25% of our current membership. That's not just numbers. That's trust, one conversation at a time. My belief in what we can build together is not enough. Protection of members' rights requires skill. Following my passion to defend employee rights, I enrolled in an employment law course and became a certified and practicing labor advocate. The training has allowed me to represent BECAW at the Labor Board and the Industrial Tribunal, standing toe-to-toe to defend our members and win. As your thank you. As your parliamentarian, I had the honor of being a part of the Bahamian delegation to the 112th International Labor Conference in Geneva, Switzerland. At the ILC, workers, employers, and government sit together, strategize, and set the international standards that become the fundamental rights that every worker around the world enjoys. I brought that knowledge home with me to strengthen our fight here. At the bargaining table, I have served as your co-lead negotiator on the most recent negotiation team. We worked day and night, and we secured the best deal for our members that teachers have seen in decades. because you deserve nothing less. Here in Grand Bahama, as your area vice president, I have worked tirelessly to protect the rights of our members. I tackled health and safety issues head on, addressing mold crisis at 4 schools this school year. I forced the Ministry of Education to provide a safe environment for you, the members. And beyond the fights, I gave members what we all need sometimes, a listening ear, and then action to back it up. Over the past 3 years, as your area vice president, I have given BECAW, Grand Bahama District, more than 150% of myself, and I am not done. My plan for the future is simple: to organize and grow. Stronger numbers means stronger leverage. Enforce and protect. No violation of our agreement or employees' rights will go unanswered. Train and empower. Every shop steward equipped, every member informed. Safe workplaces. Continued health and safety audits of every single school campus in this district will continue with vigor and passion. Brothers and sisters, experience matters. Results matter. Heart matters. Passion matters. Commitment matters. Dedication matters. And I possess all of those. I was here at the beginning, from the foundation. I have fought at every level to ensure that our workers, our employees, our members' rights will not be violated. And I'm ready to keep fighting for you. So on election day, don't just vote for a name or a friend. Vote for a record. Vote for results. Vote for the future of the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. Vote Outen for Area Vice President. Have a good evening.
And now we welcome Quintira Turnquest.
A pleasant good evening, respected union leaders, fellow educators, counselors, and distinguished guests. It is with great pride, humility, and a deep sense of responsibility that I stand before you today as a candidate for the position of Area Vice President for Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys District. I am offering myself for this position because I believe service, accountability, and results. I believe that our union must not only represent us, but truly work for us, support us, and strengthen us. If given the opportunity to serve, I promise to be an area vice president who is committed to your needs, dependable in action, organized in execution, hardworking in service, and results-driven in every initiative. My vision is simple but powerful: to build a stronger, more connected, and more active district where every member feels heard, supported, and empowered. What is your plan, you may ask? Strengthen communication and connection. My primary focus will be improving communication across all islands, Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys. I will establish consistent communication channels via monthly updates and newsletters, conduct school visits to hear directly from you, the members, because communication is not just about speaking. It is about listening, responding, and acting. Secondly, increasing engagement and participation. I will focus on organizing district-wide activities that foster unity and morale, increase participation in national and international workshops, ensure members are informed early about training opportunities, encourage and support professional development for teachers and counselors. That's not only via Zoom, but hands-on. Introduce recognition initiatives to celebrate the hard work of you, our members. A strong union is an active union, and together we build that strength. Finally, delivering results and building sustainability. I will evaluate and improve program based on member feedback, strengthen leadership capacity within the district, develop mentorship opportunities for new educators coming into the education field, ensure continued high participation in national initiatives, advocate for issues affecting our members with clear representation, because at the end of the day, it is not just about plans. It is about results that matter to you. So, why me? I am not just asking for your vote. I am offering you my service. I bring a strong work ethic, a passion for people, a commitment to excellence, and a determination to get things done. I will be present. I will be accessible. And most importantly, I will work for you. Colleagues, this is our time to move forward together, to strengthen our union, uplift our members, and ensure that every voice across Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys is heard. I humbly ask for your support and your vote as your next area vice president. Together, let's build a brand that is connected, active, and impactful. 1 Corinthians 12, 25, 26, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. A union's strength lies in collective solidarity, ensuring that the concerns of one member or one school is treated as the concern of the whole body. Remember, progress equals new ideas, new vision, and new leadership. Vote Quintira Turnquest, Area Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all of the speakers this afternoon. And let's give all of the speakers a round of applause. I'm going to ask the candidates to come to the front and be seated quickly. You know, we start about, on some unexpected things, we start a little late, so we've got to get these questions in as fast as possible. Remember, questions could come from the audience, from online, or the candidates can ask questions themselves. The candidates are not forbidden to ask questions. Yeah.
Hello.
Just want me to turn it on.
It's been an exciting night, very much so. I heard scriptures and see the Karate Kid would move. Says must he change but 5 times. So, all right. So, any questions from the audience or online? We wait for Madam President. Okay, well, I guess, any questions from the audience here? Palm, you feed them too early. Anyone can ask a question once you're in the audience. Yes. Candidates, any questions for any of the other candidates? Well, yes.
Good night to all. Tyrone Wild Goose is my name. I want to ask the panel, what will the union do to keep the teachers motivated and committed in teaching, training, and developing the next generation, and not just coming to work just for a paycheck? What will they do?
Well, anyone wish to take that on?
As a union, exactly what we are doing is what is needed to motivate the teachers, to let them know that they have an ear to hear their concerns, they have someone to protect them, and to let them know that they have somebody fighting for more, because we deserve more. They always say to us, you are the noble, it's a noble profession, but we don't get compensated as being the noble profession and the profession of all professions. And that is why all of us here are offering ourselves, because we feel as if we could fight that fight so that we become the noble profession with the funds that goes along with it. Because believe it or not, when a teacher has to think about how she's going to pay or he's going to pay the next bill, your child becomes a background. Because guess what? My family comes first. Sad to say, it's the truth. My family comes first. When I can't provide for my family, your children is in the background, because I have to think about that. So we are here offering ourselves because we want to fight for more. We want to fight so they don't have to sit in the classroom wondering where I'm going to get the next dollar from to pay this bill or that bill. They can focus on your children. They can focus on the job that they came into with all the passion and the love that they possess. And so that is what the union intends to do. We do it every day. Fight. That's what we intend to do.
Okay. Any other?
I would like to add to that, please. BECAW has established a firm foundation. We know that when it comes to HR matters, that we have a group of people that will go to bat. What I would like to do coming into this is build on that foundation and address the very issue that you would have asked. Help with their morale. So how do we do this? The monthly news, I would have stated earlier about a monthly newsletters. In this newsletter, this would be in the form of you giving birthday shout outs, condolences, congratulations. Members know exactly what's happening across the island, because it's the little things that matters a lot of times. And then outside of HR matters, teachers need resources. A lot of times we know the ministry also always says there's no money in the budget. The school board, there's no money. And so how do we step in as a union to help our teachers with getting the resources that they need? For example, a science lab. How do we assist them with getting the beakers and the batteries and the different things that they need for their children to have hands-on experiences while they're teaching these content?
And these are some of the things, the little things that we could possibly do. You don't need a lot of money to help build morale, but these are some of the small things that you could possibly do to help with building their morale outside of their HR matters, because we know we're going to make sure that their HR matters, they're addressed. Is that good? All right.
You want to contribute to this question, no?
I'll make it short. In addition to everything my colleagues would have said, they spoke about all of the paperwork and everything else. But we have to know and understand, when we done pass through all of that, teachers need to let their hair down and we need to unwind, all right? So outside of getting the funds, we need to contribute. We need to focus on the fun for teachers as well. Opportunity for teachers to be able to let their hair down, let go of the stress that we deal with day to day in the classroom. If we have an opportunity, even with the union, outside of the union, to get together, I know at one point I would have advocated for sports. That can be something that we can bring back on stream. Something that teachers can do together, BECAW members can do together outside of the campus.
Okay, any other wish to contribute to this? I have one question that came in by text, and it is to Quintero Turnquest. What would you do that is different from what the current AVP does?
Thank you for that question. So, like I would have stated earlier, we know that HR matters are always addressed. One thing that I would love to address is the morale of teachers. A lot of our teachers are leaving this profession because they're not getting the fulfillment that they once did when they first started. And so something that I would like to do going into this would be things that they can benefit from. Educating our members is one thing that I would like to do. A lot of times we hear that our executive members traveled outside of the country to attend different conferences, and certain acronyms that are used, and it's like it goes straight over our members' head. We need to educate our members on what these things are about. And this can come in the form of our newsletters and little did you know in our chat, in our union chat. So we educate our members on what is unionism, because y'all keep going to them and telling them, oh, BECAW and BUT and all these other stuff, and they have no idea. And so we educate them. We do things that excite them and interest them in the form of helping them in the classrooms, helping them outside, like Ms. Etchcombe said. You do fun stuff where they can come. And then a calendar of events. At the beginning of the year, I think every teacher should know what is the plan of BECAW for me for the whole year. And newsletters would be in the form of just reminders. So BECAW is planning a social in December, but they know about this social from September. So they know, okay, it's on this particular date. I need to make my plans around this date because my union is having an event and I would want to be to that event. And so those are just some of the things that I'm looking at doing moving forward.
Okay.
We have an online question.
Just a question, one more, just after this.
Okay.
Just a question for the current AVP, Michelle Oden, how you provided information for the members in Grand Bahama.
Good evening. Every single month, I, as a current sitting area vice president, have a monthly meeting for my shop stewards. The line of communication between the union, you start with the shop steward, they collect information at the school level, and then they provide that during the monthly meetings or text messages, phone calls to the AVP. I take that information, what I can handle, I handle. What needs to go, the HR matters, the public service matters, they are forwarded up to the president. The district level issues I address. As far as activities for the union, as you all are aware, we are a very new union, and funding was an issue. We weren't lavish with spending money. This is the first year that we've actually had a Christmas party because the members on my visits to the schools said that they wanted to have a party. I personally didn't like the idea of a party because of the 370 members, only 120, 130 may show up, maybe 200. I wanted to give individual gifts. Okay, so everybody benefited from some trinket. But I was outvoted. The members spoke and they said, we want a party and we want a little libation, whatever the word is. We want some drinks. We want to have some fun. So I was like, okay. And Mrs. LaRota also said, do a party. Wasn't crazy about it, but we did the party and it was well attended for those who wanted to come. They came out, they celebrated with us, okay? There are plans as the union continues to grow and more money is available from our good treasurer. We will do more as things come available. Now, on a school level, we have had meetings at lunchtime, and we've socialized on a school level during trainings that would have happened at school levels. If a shop steward brings the information to me, I will act on it. If a shop steward comes to a district council meeting or reads the district council chat, they will get the information and they should share that with their members.
Online question.
Our union prioritizes the well-being of all members, including retirees. What ideas do you have for keeping our retired members engaged and supported?
Who's the question directed to? I assume VP.
The VP.
This has been a bone of contention for me as it relates to the union, because one of the things that we have discussed at the table is the fact that retirees have been asked to pay $20 to remain a part of the union. I realize that very little is coming in to them, and so I felt heavy-hearted even asking that from them, because the only thing they would actually get back as a kickback from us is the voucher. And so I would have brought it to the table, and we of course put it on the side because it's something that we could not really and truly address. But like I stated in my statement to you all, trying to ask you to vote for me, is the fact that every room that I go into, when the opportunity arises, when people are coming to push health insurance, doctors or anything else, I bring up our retirees to make certain that anything that we, the active members, benefit from, if it's possible for them to benefit from it, we do. There are some retirees who do get together, and I do pop in every now and again when they get together and they hanging out, because it's at their expense. And I can't, with a good conscience, actually ask members who are getting very little to contribute more so for us to ask for something every month from them. The only thing that I can seriously suggest is that we include retirees in more of the things that we do at our expense. And now that is something that we may be able to look into if we move past the every dollar, every member. Because these persons would have put in a lot of the sweat, and until we're able to look past the cost and include them, because you know what? Some of them are available for the marches, but we got to talk to them ahead of the time, because sometimes it's costing them to even come to those marches. I am in communication with persons who have retired from this union. I am still listening out for what they're saying. And I hear their cries when they're talking about the cost of insurance once they leave. I hear the cries of the doctor visits and the fact that your body start working against you when you leave. But the only thing that I can continue to do is agitate in the rooms when opportunities allow. And when we are given presentations that can affect the healthcare, the insurance, and the well-being of our membership, that we have a way to tag them on so that they too can benefit. And presently, that's exactly what I'm doing.
the question for, no, I got the question for you too as well. I got a question for you. So, Janiska? Janisha, yes, they have Janiska. What would she do for retirees if elected?
Hi, good night. Retirees are the foundation of education. They've spent numerous amounts of hours pouring into our young people. I would like to engage our retirees. What does that look like? Let's get them in a club. Let's have some socials with them. Let's see where we can assist these members, and let's see if we can empower our retirees to also assist us. So what does that mean? An even exchange. Our retirees have a wealth of knowledge. They have a wealth of experience. These are things that can be transferred through mentorship. We can have situations where they go to primary schools and they do readings. They're not just home doing nothing. And then we come in as the union and we support them on the back end with the Retirees Club. Remember I said that I launched a one-year action plan. Inside that action plan is the Retirees Engagement Framework, the program. Inside that plan, so I gave you a general plan. A strategist never reveals all their secrets. But please understand that I have an execution plan, a well-detailed one that runs across 4 generations. So it's someone in their 30s, someone in their 40s, someone in their 50s, someone in their 60s that would have assisted me with making sure that that framework aligns properly and I can execute that plan properly. So what I'm saying is, I am more than capable of engaging our retirees. I am more than capable of empowering our retirees. I am more than capable of elevating them. And to do that, we need to include them. They should not be retiring and not having anything to do, anything to keep them engaged. They would have contributed to BECAW for years. So we need to now support them and let them also help support us. We have retirees out there that want to assist. I have spoken with them when I ran through the district to do my campaigns. They are members that are getting ready to retire that want to assist, but they feel like they're being left out. They feel like they're not being included. I didn't come here and say members need to be seen and heard off the air. I have ran a campaign. I have I've been school to school on Grand Bahama. I have attempted to go to certain schools in New Providence. I have attempted to tap into the southern and northern districts. I am more than capable of engaging our retirees. And to do that, there should be an even exchange. We can't just want to come here and expect certain things to just flow. Morale requires us to pour into our members so that we can receive.
Thank you so much. I think, any more questions? Remember, candidates can ask each other questions, but since it's not a debate, you'll have to ask a question. It's not a back and forth. So you'll have to ask the questions. But if you have a question, sir, we would permit you to ask the question again.
One second. I'm sorry. I'd like to ask those who are running for the vice president, what would the union be able to do to help to encourage or to help assist any teacher, because I know that teaching is very challenging on a daily basis. What would they be able to help a teacher who may be going through domestic violence? The reason why I'm asking this question, because I recently attended a domestic violence seminar, and I was very, very surprised to know where domestic violence is. You'll be very surprised to know where domestic violence is. So how will they be able to support that teacher who has to come to school every day with the challenges of teaching and who is going through domestic violence at home?
So I think he said that was for the vice presidents.
Okay, good night again. Let's go back to my one-year action plan. right? Back to my one-year action plan, there's two things. It falls underneath I think it falls underneath the Status of Women branch. Two of the things that I talked about is real talk for teachers, and then I also talk about a sisterhood network. This is outside of EAP, as well as the resilience centers, which are also nationally based assistance programs. So what real talk is about is for teachers who are overwhelmed or who are going through something mentally. So this is if you had a bad day, if something happens at home, there is a team that will be put together to assist these teachers. Strictly anonymous. What does that mean? You call in, no names, no schools, you vent. There are people that are going to be, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's right to the tip of my tongue. That are going to be trained in which areas to point you to get assistance. And one of the reasons why I put that into my plan was because I was overwhelmed at one point, and I needed a shoulder to cry on, and I needed somebody to talk to, and I had to find it through another teacher, and that teacher assisted me, so that was one of the reasons why I put that into the plan. The second portion, this also falls under the Status of Women branch, is where you would have a sister support network. So what the sister support network is about, it's about teachers coming together and working with women in the field. So let's say we have a teacher that had a family member that died, or we had a teacher that had an industrial accident, or we had a teacher that had something that required us to step in. That support system is there to tell the teacher, hey, we're here, we support you, we see you, we feel you, you're gonna be hurt, we are here to take care of you. Do you need something? How can we assist you? Remember what I said previously, when I sat down, I wrote that plan over the course of weeks. I was finished with that plan by early February. I went across 4 generations for this plan. So what going across 4 generations does is, the younger generation, we come with the ideas. We got the technology down. The mid-generations, they got the framework in place. So I know how to execute this because I have an MBA, but I need to make sure that my framework is sound. Then after that, I go to my older generation. These are the people in their 60s and their 70s. I need wisdom. I didn't just come here off of air. I went and I did the work. I did the groundwork before coming here. The plan is launched. The plan is available for everyone. Please take the time out to read the 10-year plan. And remember, I still have the execution plan, well detailed, across 4 generations with support. Yes, ma'am? No, sure is that?
I like the idea of a plan. It's important that we actually plan in order to make certain that things fall in place. But Status of Women is already here, and we are building on it. It is not just where we're focusing on women, but it's actually gender issues across the board. Domestic violence is something that is among us, and once you visit or take part in any kind of session, it opens your eyes to a lot. And people are not as open as you would like to think, especially when it's something that's at the doorstep. And yes, Status of Women is set up to deal with this. And in the next, as we go towards the next year, all 3 of the branches, our chairpersons are already on board with us putting together retreats, putting together question segments, because Status of Women is placed already in New Providence, in Grand Bahama. We already have, in Southern Bahamas, we already have people across the board. And it allows you to align with persons nearest to you, but also to reach out to persons who may not be near to you, but who may have your ear. Domestic violence is one of those things where, with the retreat, we're targeting persons who can deal with issues. Because sometimes when you have clarity, when you have exposure, when you get those helplines, those links, it allows you to know who you can reach out to, how you can reach out to them. And so as we move towards developing and sorting out Status of Women and strengthening Status of Women, it is my hope that these retreats that we have planned in the next school year, we will actually have persons who are knowledgeable enough, who can come in small segments across the Bahamas, because the retreats will allow each group to have an expert person to speak to something, so that even though they may be tuned in and benefit from something across the island, they will actually have someone on the ground. And so as it relates to an issue with domestic violence, it will be where they have the exposure, the help, and to deal with issues that they may not want to actually reach out to people, but they'll have the helplines to actually do so. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, thank you so much. We have one more question, and then we'll have the prayer, and we'll wrap up. It's after 10 at this point. So, Ms. Burrows, you have the huh? Okay, Ms. Burrows, and then Gidget.
Okay.
And the last online, the last three, and then we go. So, sorry, just in the interest of time, when you answer these last few questions, be as succinct as possible.
Okay, Ms. Gibson. My question is, how do you plan on selecting these persons that you want to train, and what is your process in training these persons?
Okay, so one of the things that I'm really good at is identifying what we call assets. In business, they call them assets or human resources. So I'm running off of faith that I will be elected as VP. So I've already gotten a commitment from someone who has full experience in being in a status of women. She is a part of BECAW. So I've already ascertained an asset already, as well as I have spoken to a few guidance counselors, and I have also spoken to some colleagues that I would have met when I was in university at UB who have masters in psychology as well as counseling. So one of the things that my MBA allows me to do is to be able to pull, to be able to identify assets as well as to be able to utilize their strengths. So I'll be able to, I have already identified someone who knows how the status of women functions and gets all, and is able to make sure that that functions properly. And now I'm able to delegate the tasks. So delegation of tasks is I'm going to give you something to do, and then I'm going to oversee that it gets done. All leaders are not good in every space. So we delegate tasks to people who are really good in spaces. Understood? So leaders' jobs are to empower people. So one of the things that I want to do is to bring everybody together for a training session for how to handle people who are in delicate situations. So we were, sorry. So as a person who was also a victim of domestic violence, and I had to do a couple of rounds of therapy when I was in my 20s to actually accept the fact that we do have issues that have to be resolved. One of the things that you kind of learn is that it's a delicate space. So in that being a delicate space, like I said already, I've already identified someone to help status of women function who has already done status of women over the course of particular years. They are an asset, and I've already touched bases with guidance counselors as well as some of the persons I would have went to school with who have master's degrees in psychology and whatnot. So I have resources.
Thank you so much, Ms. Baston.
Good night. All of the questions tonight have been forwarded to the members. I want to forward my question to the persons who are elected and those who will be elected. What is your action plan to form a cohesive body that no matter who is elected, we stand together no matter what? Who wants to respond?
So the question is, no matter what happens, and presumably that's in the elections, that the organization and the executive team would be cohesive.
Good evening. I will be short. And one thing I decide I will do is that whoever is elected, I will have to work with. And I'm going to have to build some trust amongst the new ones, right? And Also, I would need the executive board to be able to follow my vision, my plan, and I want all of us to work together. What I would ask of the executive also is to follow my motto, and it's members first, always. When you come into the executive team, know that, and everybody on this executive team know me. Members first. So please come with that attitude. When a member has a problem, I think I spoke about this a couple times, update them. Make sure you get the matter resolved. So I am going to encourage you. I am going to be right here with you. When the shop steward gives the AVP their concerns and the AVP gives it to me, you rest assured, my executive team, it will be done. Okay? So that is one of my things, is that I will be the strong one. I will be the backbone, and I will lead by example. Okay? So I just want all of you, we're going to do this. We're going to take BECAW higher. I can't even say higher now. I can't say progress. I can't say way forward. But all of them, I want to say, we're going to go forward, we're going to go higher, and we're going to continue to progress and make BECAW better.
Thank you. I will, the last question.
Last
and then
question from the
I
floor.
want to respond to something, but last question.
Okay, there are other unions representing educators in the Bahamas. How would you handle questions from potential members about why BECAW is the better choice for them? And that's for the floor. Someone else.
Okay, as an organizer for BECAW, and I have to go back to the other question. Regardless of who's elected, one of the things that I have found that has kept me motivated and able to promote and push our organization is because I believe deep down in my heart that each person serving on this board has a passion for doing the right thing the right way. I believe that I fundamentally believe that each person is committed to what we started. It's easy to sell a product when you believe in it. And I believe that deep down in each person's heart here, they believe in what we're doing, and we can do great things as long as we continue to work together, okay? And it's not the easiest thing in the world. We're all different. Some of you are married. You don't wake up every morning and love your husband. You don't love your wife. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you honestly don't even love yourself, okay? But deep down inside, it's the truth. Now, y'all can pretend, but sometimes you're looking like, today, but other times like, hey, I got this, okay? And I believe that we have this, and I believe that when you look at the union leadership that is out there on the other side, what we have to offer, hands down, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's BECAW all the way.
Well, one of the things that I tell new teachers when they come in is you're going to have representatives that have class when you come to BECAW. You have representatives who are stern, who are knowledgeable, who ain't scared, but we are respectful. You have representatives who are not going to jump over barricades. Okay? And we are going to represent you well. Okay? We have good relationships with the Ministry of Education. We have never insulted them. Okay? So that is why we can get more done for our members. Okay? Thank you.
So, on one last thing, and related to the question asked by Ms. Basin as we wrap up. When a new team is elected, there's a retreat where all the executives get together and plan the way forward. In that retreat, the executives are trained in their roles and their positions so that they'll know what they're responsible for and what other executives are responsible for, and they'll get a more detailed ideas about unionism and what they should stand for. And then they will do some strategic planning and partnering. And so the loyalty and the commitment becomes to the organization and to the plan. So you don't have to worry about your disagreement individually. And so BECAW is about being loyal to principles, not personalities. And as the founder, I reinforced that during the retreat. So they're in good hands. So with that being said, we want a righteous person to come and close us out in prayer. No, the Bible said the prayer of the righteous availeth much. So the Lord will recognize my good cousin. So come and close us out in the word of prayer.
Let's all stand. The food was good, the drink was good, the water was good, the presentation was good. And so I'm looking forward to next month and whatever God has planned, and so we will go forward as one. Now may the saving grace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, sweet fellowship of the Holy Spirit, the love of God, rest and abide with us now and forevermore. Let everyone say, Amen. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Palm, bring me food, please.